Hi, my name's Stacey. I'm a cosmetic chemist and I also design innovative products for the personal care industry, specialising in innovation as well as natural ingredients. I started originally in natural health and well-being, specialising in supplements and nutritional products, and also trained in natural therapies of massage, aromatherapy, reflexology, and that led me to a position with a very new skincare company that had just started in New Zealand called Trilogy, and that company pioneered the rosehip oil movement globally. And I was fortunate enough to start at the very beginning of that company, so I got to see how the brand could grow and what consumers were looking for in personal care products. I got to have a variety of positions within that brand, and eventually landed my dream job, which was product design and research and development. So from there, I went on to start my own consultancy business up, and now 6 years later I run a team of experts. Leading from my consultancy business, I then started to, I travel offshore. Well, I had travelled offshore frequently to all the latest beauty shows so that we could see what else was happening outside of our own country, and that led to international speaking engagements, talking on specialising in natural products, which is quite new and quite unique in a lot of overseas global countries. There's definitely such a big movement now for clean and natural. So I've been fortunate enough to share my knowledge and insights about those topics at different beauty shows. But also, most recently, I've taken up a position at Canterbury University as a teaching fellow, and I now do lectures and supporting of the students in their degree for cosmetic formulation design at the School of Product Design. And it's wonderful to be able to share my knowledge, my experience, and my insights with them, and it's wonderful to learn from them and see the world through their eyes now, because they are a completely different generation. I first met Christine at Long Haul Spa through some other connections, and she was referred through to me because she was incredibly passionate. I mean, she's an executive who's travelled the world and done a lot of travel for her business, and you know, there was this massive gap in the market that she could see, or she felt there was a need for, because she had needed lots of different things when she was flying, because of course, being somebody, you know, everybody thinks that traveling for business is very glamorous, when actually it can be incredibly tough, and there's not a lot of glamour in it at all, apart from the fact that you do get to go to different countries. But you know, you're expected to get off that plane and you're meant to go straight into meetings, and you're meant to look amazing and feel amazing, and you know, that's just not how it works when you're definitely traveling long haul. So Chris had a collection of favorite products maybe that she'd put together. You know, it's right, we trapped in these planes for long periods of time, and you know, there's only so many movies and books you can watch, and there's nothing more indulgent than having time. And then the second indulgent thing is actually to self-care for yourself. So her concept to me was incredibly valid and really innovative, and something that I hadn't really thought about or done before. So and she's just got such drive and such passion that it was definitely, I knew, a partnership. Probably the biggest challenge would have been, well, there's two really. I think it's the space in which we were creating the products for. On an aeroplane, you're in cabin pressure. You're very close to your fellow seat people. And so there's a couple of things. One is aroma. You know, for the fragrance side of things, and fragrance is gorgeous, and it can be kind of aromatherapeutic as well, which is what we wanted to do with this range, is make it fragranced that would also help with mind and body. But it couldn't be overly strong, because, you know, we didn't want anybody on the plane to start complaining about whatever it was that we were doing. And then the second thing is how could you use such products in a small space? So you know, you didn't want products that were going to go all over the place. They had to be used in a small space. They had to be easy to use, easy to apply, but they also had to look okay when you actually had them on. So there was no way we were going to make this weird looking face mask or a clay face mask that then A, scared the passenger next to you, or B, you know, took forever to try and figure out how to get it off. And, you know, I don't know about you, but those small toilets are not the best place to be hanging out. I guess with the journey, it was making sure that what we created, what we formulated, aesthetically worked and survived, you know, in this cabin pressure as well. Because I don't know about you, but I mean, I know in the past I've opened potentially a bottle of something on the plane and it just explodes everywhere because of the pressure. You know, you couldn't have spillage or things that were just going to make a mess everywhere. So those sorts of viscosities of formulations had to be all challenged and tested before we actually, you know, got to the end stage of the project. And also not just the viscosity and the way the products would look or feel, but what was going into those products. So, you know, obviously I specialise in natural, and Christine is, you know, if possible, we would like to use natural. I believe now that there's a place for science-based ingredients as well as natural ingredients to make the product as best and efficacious as possible. But we had to think about what was happening to the skin when you were flying long haul, and, you know, obviously the biggest component there would be hydration or dehydration of the skin. So we needed to put a lot of humectant properties in there. We needed a lot of ingredients that were going to help to really hydrate and plump the skin. And one of those products that is just magic for that is the leave-on gel face mask. Not only is it kind of cooling and soothing, but it also just really, your skin just sucks it all up and it really rehydrates the skin. You've got your facial spritz, which is just kind of really nice, especially for sort of perking yourself up at any stages throughout the flight. It's a real wonderful refresher. But the actives, the botanical actives that we put in there, they all play a part in nourishing and feeding the skin to really look after it under all those sort of extreme conditions that you find when you're traveling long haul. We wanted to be able to incorporate ingredients that we do have in New Zealand, because we are surrounded by nature. So of course, you know, when you're making natural products, you want nature sort of infused into that as much as you can. So we looked for ingredients such as kiwi fruit oil or kiwi fruit extract, high in enzyme activities, and it's a massive antioxidant, so really protecting to the skin. We also looked at ingredients like mamaku fern, so a lot of ingredients that are specific to New Zealand that you don't find anywhere else in the world. And one of the great things about ingredients out of New Zealand is that they are exposed to such high levels of UV from the ozone that they actually have they develop their own stronger protection. So the strength of the ingredients coming out of New Zealand actually have a stronger potency than ingredients that you'll find in other parts of the world. We're very strong on sustainability, and we have a very high standard for ethically sourced ingredients as well in New Zealand, and it's just something that we've always I guess kind of grown up with, because we have pioneered natural skincare for a very, very long time, and you know, we don't know anything other than in sustainability. We're a small island. We need to survive what's happening out there at the moment, and that has always one of the criteria that has to be ticked off whenever we're looking at creating products is sustainability. It has to be ethically sourced. There's no point in using ingredients that you're not going to be able to get back or regenerate again. That's just not kind to nature. So although we formulated long haul spa products specifically for travelling, they can be, the beauty of it is that these it's a magical kit of ingredient or products that could be used at anywhere and any time. Recently I actually gifted one of these sets to a good friend of mine who had recently lost her husband, and as a sort of self-care, self-love thing that she could do with her daughter in time of their grief, they could sit down together and they could actually do this gorgeous spa treatment together and share that nourishment of sort of looking after themselves and treating themselves. So these products, even as I say, yeah, they could be used as the most beautiful gift that you could give anybody, because post-COVID there is nothing more important than wellness and self-care. We've all learned that as a very big lesson since the pandemic, and it leads to another whole category of products that could be in development that we need to be sort of looking for. And wearing masks, that's having a big impact on skin. It's weakening the skin barrier. It's causing friction. It's causing breakouts. So again, products that we've formulated for the long haul spa range actually can be transferred over into looking after your skin when you're having to wear the masks in all these daily sort of activities that we're having to do. We're looking at also incorporating beautiful honey, New Zealand Manuka honey, that is just has just got so much efficacy behind it. It's almost like a super ingredient. It's full of vitamins and minerals and nutrients. It's anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and we're looking at making that into something that would be just the most gorgeous mask that would just superpower the skin and really bring it back into balance and care, as well as some other products that could help with the increase in acne that people are finding that they're getting now through, again, having to wear facial coverings. It's such an exciting time, even though our world is full of uncertainty. One thing we know for sure is that we do need to care for ourselves. We do need to look after ourselves. We do need to nourish ourselves, and that's something that holistically we need to do internally and externally. So although long haul spa products have, originally were launched to do the job of long haul flying, or to help with long haul flying, I think that there's never a better time as to actually take these products and use them when we're not traveling.